I think Biblo might be another Joy Boy crew member or companion. Here's why. Joy Boy and Nefertari Lily were Nakama, much like Luffy and Vivi in my opinion. This led Lily to scatter Poneglyphs across the world when they realized they'd lose the war against the Alliance. These Poneglyphs held important historical information about the Void Sentry, letters, and the location whereabouts regarding ancient weapons. Lily gave who she believed would protect these artifacts throughout the time. In other words, their allies. To start, she gave a poneglyph to O'Hara. This poneglyph was kept in the basement. The next two were inherited by Wano, who, by the way, created poneglyphs, which were kept submerged in the cavern of Mount Fuji during old Wano's time and in the basement of Shogun Castle. The next people given two poneglyphs were Fishman Island, which was hidden in the sea forest. After that, Zoe received a poneglyph, which is hidden in the whale tree. The Shandians received one as well, and finally, the other country that had one was Alabasta at the bottom of a tomb. What did all of these countries have in common except Alabasta? They are all unaffiliated with the world government, much like Saul just said about Elbaf. The second common factor they have is they are all thousands of years old. The final common factor is all of their poneglyphs were hidden in some type of basement. To make this even more interesting, we have to remember what Calgara said to Nolan. He said that even though they were known as the City of Gold, their people never protected treasure. They protected the city. He said the city of Shandora was destroyed in a fight to protect their poneglyph. It's their duty as descendants to continue to protect it. Now let's go back to our exception, Alabasta. Even though Alabasta was affiliated with the world government, they denied their position to be a celestial dragon. Also, Nefertari Lily was their monarch at the time, and she was the one who scattered these stones. Their exception is relative. King Cobra says to Robin as they walk into a tomb below Alabasta that for generations, Alabastan kings have been entrusted with protecting their poneglyph. That was their only duty. Calgara and King Cobra had the same responsibilities. Isn't it likely that others entrusted with poneglyphs felt that same way? So how does this come back to Biblo on Elbaf being a companion of Joy Boy? I think Joy Boy assigned his crewmates to guard certain locations of great importance that coincided with poneglyphs as long as they were alive. The same way Roger did with the Roger Pirates, with Rayleigh being on Sabaody Archipelago and Crocus being at Twin Peaks. Of those we have alive are Zunisha, carrying the Mink tribe only to be said to never be found easily. Emmett, who held onto a Joy Boy hockey knot just in case he was needed. The Fishman people with Poseidon and the Noah's Ark that was given to them by an unaffiliated world government island by the name of Water 7. And now Biblo on Elbaf. I think we will find out its role in protecting knowledge on Elbaf, where another poneglyph is hidden, revealing his true purpose under Joy Boy's Jolly Roger.
It's just not enough information right now for me to be subscribing to it too hard, but I like it. I'm like interested in it. I definitely see the parallels between the potential, I tasked my crew to do this thing and this thing between Roger and Joy Boy. I kind of want to just something on Biblo's age. There's nothing so far that says that he wouldn't be super old like that. And like they're on Elbaf. So if the people of Elbaf who live up to hundreds and hundreds of years old are all like, that thing been here, he probably was there to witness some of that stuff, at least. Like whether he was a part of the crew or whatever. But I do like the tie-in with the nations that clearly aren't affiliated with the world government. And that Joy Boy seemingly had some connections with all of them. And that there's somebody, similar to how Roger seemingly has somebody at all these key important islands. I'm with it.
I'm going to use Emmett and I'm going to use Zunisha, who are suspected Joy Boy crew members, friends, allies, commanders, whatever. Is they both reacted to Luffy's Gear 5th, the Drums of Liberation. I guess we got to wait to see Biblo's reaction to Luffy in that state. If he has a reaction, then it's like, okay, there's a link there because it seems that all of Joy Boy's companions are reacting to that. They'll have something to say about it. Yeah, and they're all huge. So I wonder why that's a thing. Kind of makes me think, I guess people already speak that Nika may have been like a giant.
Yo, imagine this giant owl's just been turning all the giants bigger this whole time. And that they're really
they're organic. There was an interesting thought I had too. So Zunisha might be like the Chopper of Joy Boy's crew, and Emmett might be like the Frankie of his crew, and then we have an owl that may be the archaeologist of his crew, which is like the Robin of his crew. What if Joy Boy's whole crew is just filled with animals?
I would like it just because the world government has seemed to be so racist towards anybody that's not human or the celestial dragons, which are basically just humans. So it's like, what if Joy Boy got together all the different races of that time that weren't human You know what I'm saying?
Because Luffy likes everybody. He saw a skeleton and immediately wanted to be in his crew. He was like, yo, join my crew. All for it. No precedence. Never met it before. Don't know anything about him. He's just like, yo, just join the crew. And it's like, if you look at Joy Boy, think about it. The Owl's huge. Emmett's huge. Zunisha's huge. So he most likely has to be huge too. Or he could be a really small guy. I mean, it's just like, I could see his crew just being a bunch of big animals.
I'm trying to remember how he looked proportionately to Emmett.
Emmett was just as big as like
Yeah,
Work Random
that's
when
what
they
I'm
got
saying.
really big. And the crazy thing is too, when we saw Luffy, where did he go for like 2 years? To an island of animals. And he befriended all of them. And then we just seen when he was talking to Loki, and Loki's like, yo, you can't befriend these animals. And then all of a sudden, he's chilling with the animals, and the animals love him. And it would speak to like maybe Conqueror's Haki and like Voice of All Things, being able to like talk to them and becoming friends with them and leading them to like a collective unit to where it's like, yo, we're friends. Momonosuke can do that with Zunisha. So it's like an interesting thought that like popped in my mind.
No, Larry's spitting. Even if these might be reaches, I feel like they're tied into something that's... Well, some of this is probably accurate, to me anyway.
And then you have Poseidon itself being an ancient weapon, but she's technically just talking to other animals.
Yeah, Sea Kings.
So I can see how like this might tie in a little bit more than we thought.
I think they tied into like how for some reason that conquerors have a sway over animals. And I think Ray said something about Luffy's, he mentioned about Luffy's natural ability, intuitiveness. He has a keen sense of, it's not just animals, but like people's emotions. He's able to understand people. Ray was talking that he noticed something about Luffy. There was a special ability to read people's emotions, but also in animals. And he got into like how, what do you expect to do this? How do you expect it to play out in a fight? And then Luffy's comment was, well, it depends on how the person is. Talk about running away and everything. But then we see it later on, it played out in his fight with Katakuri. So we see how animals are able to respond to him and how Luffy's also intuitively able to tell who's a bad guy, who's not. Conqueror's ability, but also his intuitive about reading the intuition about animals. How they're just naturally gravitate to him.
Somebody said that he's basically Dr. Doolittle.
That's funny. Dr. Doolittle with Conqueror's Haki is great.
But yeah, man, my mind was just leading to some like crazy places. And I was like, yo, these are honestly like connecting a little bit more than I thought they would. Like I was a little bit more confident with the connections. So